In the past, a mathematics examination was designed for some secondary school students to produce a mean score of 50. A new teaching program is put into place and the management team want to know if there has been any difference in the students' performance in the examination. A randomly selected sample of 200 students are given the examination. Each score is denoted by X. The results of the examination are summarised as follows. The number in the sample was 200. The sum of all the scores was 10,460. The sum of all the scores squared is 577,656. Using a suitable hypothesis test, determine if there's been a difference in the scores due to the new teaching program at the 1% significance level. You may assume the scores are normally distributed. Now, we might notice here that we have a mean, but we do not have any standard deviation. So the standard deviation has to be estimated from the sample. Now, this is okay. You can do this using a normal z-test using the normal distribution, provided that n is greater than 50 or 50 or more. So, note, if the population standard deviation has to be estimated, which is true in this case, from a small sample, which is not true, we have a big sample in this case, then a different type of hypothesis test has to be used, and that's called a t-test. The t-test is not in the scope of the A-level course at the currently as it's set out. Right, so in this example, though, we have n is 200, therefore we can use a normal distribution, and this is how we proceed. So, again, same idea, you state the null and the alternate hypothesis. So, H0 will be that mu is equal to 50, the population mean is unchanged, and H1, mu is not equal to 50. We're not asked to look for definite increase or decrease, we're just asked to see if there's a difference in the population mean. So this has an implication for the type of test. So you have to state the type of test, which is two-tailed. Now the bits in green you don't have to actually write, but it's just to help you understand. We're looking for a difference, so therefore we use a two-tailed test. These were the statistics given. N is 200, sum of X is 10,460, and the sum of the scores squared is 577,656. So if we calculate a sample mean from this data, the sample mean is x bar. X bar is the sum of x divided by n, which is going to be 10,460 divided by 200, which is going to give me 52.3. The important thing is that we will have to estimate the standard deviation from the sample. So normally call this Sm minus 1, that's going to be sigma x squared minus n times x, the mean squared, divided by the sample size minus 1. So it's going to be, from this data, 577,656 minus 200 times the mean, which is sample mean, which we just calculated to be 52.3 squared, divided by 200 minus 1, and that gives me 12.399, which we will just make 12.4 to 3 significant figures to keep things nice and easy. Right, if we calculate the critical value now for this, remember to draw a graph. Okay, so the population mean was 50, we'll use the standard normal curve, that will be 0. So for the standard normal curve, the sigma will be 1. Standard deviation of our curve will be 12.5 divided by the square root of 200. Want an area here of 0.005 and an area here of 0.005. Now the reason being is that we want, it's two-tailed, so the lower tail and the upper tail must come to 1%. And that makes it 1%, which makes here and here, if our values, when we calculate them either here or here, we will reject H0, which means that the middle value is 0.99. So we're asked to calculate this value. Now we calculate this value using our calculator. So going to our calculator. Now I'm using a TI, but you can do it with a Casio calculator. If you just go to a number mode and then press menu and then probability and then distribution. So you need to know how to do this on your calculator. We want inverse normal. We want the area to be 0.995. Why is it that? I want the 0.5% of the lower tau, the 0.99 in the middle, and that will give me the boundary. I'll just explain that again in a minute. That will give me 2.576, we can get from here. So let me explain that. That's 0.005 plus 0.99 will give me that one. Or you could just put in 0.0005 and it will give you the negative version. So this will give me 2.576, or here minus 2.576. So those are the critical values. So if we calculate our test value and it comes either in here or here, then we know to reject 80. Right, so our test value will be x is the sample mean minus the population mean over our estimated standard deviation over the square root of the sample size. So that's going to be 52.3 minus 50 over 12.4 divided by the square root of 200. That's going to give me 2.623 if I do that on my calculator. Where is that value? Well, that value will be here. Okay, it's more than that value there. It's in our critical region, and therefore we are now prepared to make our conclusion. So the conclusion is going to be, as 2.623 is bigger than 2.576, we reject 80 and say there is significant evidence that there is a difference in the population mean. Okay, there is a difference in the population mean. Right, now if we did use like p values, now obviously it's a bit more difficult to actually calculate the p value, so it's better to use the GDC. So we just go to the GDC, and this time we go to menu. You can't do this on a normal ClassWiz calculator. And then we select this time statistics, and we go to number 7 here, which is stat test, and we just do a Z test. Right, the data input method is going to be the statistics that we're going to put into it. So we change that to stats, and then we press OK. Right, in here we put the population mean, which is 50. Here we put in our standard deviation that we have, which is 12.4, the one that we estimated. Here we put in our sample mean, which is 52.3. Okay, and here we put in our sample size, which is 200. Now here we need the type of test, so it's actually set up for what we want to. We want not equal to. This is the two-tailed test, so we press OK, and that will return some values. Now you might see that value there is familiar to what we have already done, so it gives all the statistics here that you could put in your answer. So there's a screenshot of what we've just done. The p-value. Now the p-value is 0.871. Now that's less than 0.01, and therefore we would reject 80. So if the inequality sign's a different way around to that one, it's the same thing as before. So basically what we're saying is that this area here is going to be half of that, and if we do the symmetrical side, which would bring it to on the other side, it will bring it to 47.7. That would be half of that area. So combined at that means it's less than 0.01, and we reject it as before. Like I say, using p-values with this, p-values it's better to just use it with the calculator. Okay, so this has been a video to show you how to do a t-test where you have to estimate the variance from the population. I hope you've understood, and I thank you very much for watching.